What is going on YouTube? It is your boy Tropical NHL back at it again for a brand new YouTube video. And breaking news today, the Montreal Canadiens just made a trade happen, and it's a pretty cool one in my opinion. I mean, I'm kind of happy. I know a lot of people are disappointed about this, but this is a move that I really like. And Casey DeSmith is involved. So yes, he's no longer a Montreal Canadiens. But before getting into the details of the trade, I invite you guys to subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 5K subscribers before the start of the season on October 11th for the Montreal Canadiens. So if you could help me out with that by subscribing, I would really appreciate. More than 75% of people watching the videos aren't subscribed. So if those people subscribe, we're going to get really close, as well as the like button. Let's try and get 125 likes for this Habs trade. So yes, let's get right into the details of the trade. Roll the intro. So yes, as you can see on the screen right now, the Canadiens have acquired Tanner Pearson and a 2025 third-round pick from Vancouver. In exchange, the Montreal Canadiens have sent goaltender Casey DeSmith to the Canucks. So Casey DeSmith, that was acquired in the Jeff Petrie trade alongside Jeff Petrie when Derek Carlson thing happened, when Mike Hoffman got flipped to the San Jose Sharks, and when Rem Pitlick became a Pittsburgh Penguins. All of that was really confusing. But yes, Casey DeSmith, who got introduced today to the fans at the media day, is no longer a Montreal Canadiens. He's been a Habs for a day. Introduced today, and now it's time for goodbyes. Casey DeSmith is no longer a Montreal Canadiens, and Tanner Pearson is now a Habs. And this is pretty good, in my opinion. This is a great asset management coming from the upper management. Kent Hughes has been playing chess. He's been doing really good. Last season, Tanner Pearson only played in 14 games for the Canucks due to an injury, where he got 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points. He's a pretty good NHL player. He has a lot of experience. He's been with the Canucks for a long time. He can score between 10 and 20 goals, getting around 30 to 40 points when he's healthy. I mean, he had a couple of great seasons. He played with the LA Kings. He won with the LA Kings. He's a really good friend of Tyler Toffoli. So I'm sure that he's going to love it in Montreal. And yes, if he's healthy, I mean, he's going to be producing points. He's going to be useful for the Habs this season, and he's going to help the team to go through the rebuild for this season. I mean, the young guys, for some of them, are not ready. They need to be patient with those guys. And with a guy like Tanner Pearson in the lineup, he's always good to have. Rebuild, playoff contention, no matter in what situation you're in, Tanner Pearson is going to give his everything. And yes, he's going to be pretty useful for the Montreal Canadiens. He has a $3,250,000 cap hit for this season, and his contract ends at the end of it. So that means that the Montreal Canadiens would be able to trade him at the trade deadline, retaining 50% of his cap space to try and get some more assets to a playoff team. Like I said, Tanner Pearson is a guy that's really good in the playoffs. Tanner Pearson is a guy that already won everything. So to have him on a team that's going to go deep in the playoff is always good. Having a guy like him on the third or fourth line playing some PK. I mean, he's experienced and he's really good, always giving his hardest, his best. So he's most likely going to bring some attention around him when trade deadline is going to be coming. And since he's going to become a UFA at the end of the season, the Montreal Canadiens will be able to retain 50% of his cap hit and flip him for maybe another second rounder, maybe another player. You don't know. And depending on how good he can do with the Montreal Canadiens, the value is going to get higher. And it's always good to have. You get some value out of absolutely nothing. I mean, they started with Mike Hoffman. They got a couple of assets, and now they flipped Petrie for some more assets. They flipped DeSmith for some more assets, and who knows what they're going to get in the future for a guy like Tanner Pearson. So this is really a good move, I think, for the Montreal Canadiens. I would have rather seen them trade Jake Allen, because I'm not a big fan of Jake Allen, but this is pretty good. Like, they had to get rid of one of those goalies, and Montembeault was moving out of here. I mean, Montembeault is probably the guy that's going to be the number 1 this year, and having a threesome in net is not the best of solutions, in my opinion. It never really ends well. There's always a guy that's just not playing. It's not a healthy battle when there's a guy that's not playing. You need to get those battles inside of the locker room between guys to get a spot. But it wouldn't have been healthy having two experienced guys like Hallen and DeSmith not getting the ice time they deserve. And yes, I would have kept DeSmith because I feel like he's a better second goaltender, second goalie option. Hallen is more in the between. He needs to play games, but being a second goaltender, you don't play as much games. So I would have traded Allen, but I'm still okay with this. Like I said, they had to trade one of those goalies. They did, and they got a pretty good player out of it. So I'm really happy with that trade. I don't know if you guys are happy. I know a lot of people on Twitter were like, oh my God, this is a useless type of move. Why did they do that? So yes, Tanner Pearson is going to be a Montreal Canadiens. How good will he do? I have absolutely no idea. But I feel like if he can remain healthy, he's going to be pretty useful to this team. Like I said, yes, there are some guys that are pushing, some young guys that are really close to making the jump into the NHL. But for me, patience is key. You don't want to put those players in some situation that they're not ready to take in. So you're better off playing them in the AHL, playing them in junior for an extra year, wait for them to be 110% ready. Because when they're not ready, just like Slavkovsky last year, the pressure becomes more heavy on them, and it's not a good situation, not a good look. So I would rather see Joshua Webb play an extra year, dominate in the AHL, and play in the NHL and struggle, get injured, and all of that because he's not 100% ready. Tanner Pearson knows what it's like to play in the NHL. He's experienced. You can get some value out of him at the trade deadline. So, yes, it's a good move for the Habs. You can't never go wrong with moves like that. And with a guy like Tanner Pearson, you're guaranteed to get 100% of what he can bring every night. So, yes, I'm really a big fan of this trade. I think it's a good one. Kent Hughes is doing an amazing job. And like I said, with Tanner Pearson, that's probably going to get moved at the deadline. Same thing for Sean Monahan. Same thing for a couple of those guys, maybe David Savard as well. There are going to be a lot more spots available at the end of this season and for next season. We're kind of in a transition year between the rebuild to where we're going to be starting to develop more and be more competitive. So yes, don't worry about spots. They might not get the ice time as soon as this fall for some of the young guys, but they're going to get it at the end of this season, next season, and the year after. We're in good hands. They know what they're doing. They're just trying to get the most value of everything they have so that we can be competitive for a very, very long time. And I'm not stressed out at all of what's going to become the Montreal Canadiens in the future. I think we're in good hands with Kent Hughes, and I'm really excited to see this season. So yes, let me know what you guys all think about this trade in the comments below. It's been your boy Tropical NHL. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, share, do anything as you want, and I'll see y'all later for a brand new video. Have a nice rest of your day, and bye-bye.